to West Coast Jazz. I'm your host, Von Norberg, along with my fabulous, wonderful, talented co-host, Shared Isle.
Hello, and welcome to West Coast Jazz. We are here with a little bit of quaint setting here, and I like it.
Oh, I was going to ask you, how do you like this couch?
I like it a lot.
Well,
it's
you
very
know,
cozy.
If you're cool and you're into jazz, this is a cool setting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I like it. I really like it. And it's so good to be here. And we have a great show tonight. We are doing big bands. We have a lot of stories, a lot of great music from like the 40s and 50s all the way up to now, which I love about West Coast Jazz. And I also wanted to welcome our new sponsors. And so the new sponsors to our show are Patty Wendling, Louis Wendling, Robert Shershan, and Janine Howe. And we really appreciate them being a sponsor and supporting our show. And also, if you'd like to support our show, you can go to jazzwithvon.com and you can check out how you can help us and donate so you can continue to hear such great programming like we're giving you.
You know, Cher, I've come up with a new idea.
Okay.
You haven't heard this yet. I'm going to throw it at you. So how about if we have a $50 a month sponsor? Mm-hmm. We will give you one of our fabulous West Coast Jazz. It keeps coffee and cocoa hot, but it also keeps your cold drinks cold. Mm-hmm. So we will give that out, and
with your name on it.
With your name on it, and West Coast Jazz.
Yeah, it's a great gift. Yeah,
so
I agree.
Also have a new announcement. This is going to be a great show. Richard Claddy, who was our producer editor, has moved on to bigger and brighter things. Mm-hmm. So congratulations to definitely. Richard. And want to introduce Chris Norberg, who's you don't see here, but he's behind the table. He's working all the cameras and all the audios, and he's also going to be doing the editing.
Yes.
And because he's part of the family, we don't have to worry about him running off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
he's stuck with us.
There you go. So what do we have for our first song here, our band?
Okay, so for our first song and our first band, we have, which I think you also have a story about, Neil Hefti.
Yes, I do.
Okay, what is your story? Because you have a story for everything, and I love it.
Just about everything.
Yeah, just about.
So this was back in elementary school, I think third, fourth grade. I don't remember exactly. Mm-hmm. And our teacher came in and says, if anybody wants to skip math today and go see Neil Hefti at Orchestra Hall, raise your hand. Can you see
like that? Yeah, really.
Yeah.
You didn't care for math?
Oh, no, I love math, but I love music more.
Really? All right. Well, and I got a little tidbit about Neil after we play his song, Cute, right here on West Coast Jazz. was Neil Hefti with the song Cute. And we were saying that Freddie Green plays the guitar.
Yeah, in fact, Chris, our new editor, said, "Who's the guitar player?" So I want to tell all of our audience, if you go to our website and you want to know something about one of the bands we play, Cher is a wonderful researcher, and we will look it up and get back to you.
Definitely. And so, speaking of research, this is a really interesting fact. Neil Hefti composed the theme for the Batman TV show on TV.
I did not know
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, and a couple other ones too. Oh, The Odd Couple.
Oh.
So he composed the Batman theme and The Odd Couple for TV. So, I mean, those are facts that we like to give people so they know information. And Vaughn here is an aficionado. So, like you said, if you go to our website, jazzwithvaughn.com, you can always ask us a question, and we'll be more than happy to answer it.
One other comment I was going to make about that is that was the first song I played on the tenor saxophone in our school orchestra. So it's
interesting.
pretty upbeat, and it stuck with me all these years. And when I thought about doing this show, I thought, let's start out with a story and how I kind of really got hooked into jazz and even more so into big bands.
Okay. Yeah, definitely a good show. Well, next we have Glenn Miller, and I was reading that he went missing in action. Did you know that? And they never found him, his plane.
Well, I know more than that.
Okay.
My father played for Glenn Miller.
Okay.
When he was in the Air Force. He was in the drum section, or should say rhythm section. He was a snare drummer, and after he got lost at sea, my father mustered out of the Air Force and came back to Los Angeles, where I was born, and started playing for the Vaughn Monroe Orchestra, and Vaughn Monroe was my godfather.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And you're Vaughn, so
yeah, I am.
Interesting. Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we have Glenn Miller here with "In the Mood," and I know people are very familiar with this song, so let's hear it right here on
West Coast Jazz. That was Glenn Miller. A couple of more things I forgot to mention. Since we've got my son here, Chris, working the boards, there was a little story. Chris will remember I went to a school because the Glenn Miller Orchestra was coming to PV Plaza, downtown Minneapolis, and I wanted to take him to see where my father, Carl Norberg, played with the Glenn Miller Orchestra. So I went to the school, and they said, well, you cannot take your child out. It's not a medical emergency. It's not educational. And I said, wait. Music is not educational? And she said, well, go ahead. So we snuck Chris out of the school.
Oh, really?
And kind of like, when I left to see Neil Hefty,
class, yeah.
well, we snuck Chris out of the school. And my father is Carl Norberg, and who is Chris's grandfather.
Oh, okay.
So I said we're keeping everything in the
Yeah.
family. So there you go. I thought I'd mention those. Oh, and by the way, Glenn Miller played the trombone, and so does Chris.
Oh, interesting.
So, and he got to get up on stage and meet a lot of the trombone players. And I believe you got an autographed disc or CD from them when we were there. So it was a wonderful outing, and I took the heat for sneaking
Yeah,
him out of
really.
school.
Well, it's educational, believe me.
That's what I said.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, as we move on, next we have Jimmy Dorsey with the song "So Rare," and of course, and we're going to be hearing from his brother Tommy Dorsey in a few songs. But they played together for years, and then they had some kind of a riff. But eventually, towards the end, they got back together to record. So.
And I believe Jimmy Dorsey played the saxophone, and Tommy Dorsey played the trombone.
Yeah,
So.
definitely. Yeah. All right. Well, here we are with "So Rare" by Jimmy Dorsey. All right, and that was Jimmy Dorsey with the "So Rare." It was
What
great.
do you think of that sax playing?
Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. Yeah, exactly. I love, saxophone is just relevant in so many jazz songs. It's unbelievable.
And that's why I played it.
Exactly, right. Yeah, you were on top of it. All right, well, next we have, as I was talking before, Tommy Dorsey, Jimmy's brother. And so it's interesting that they were both in jazz and both doing kind of different things.
Yeah.
And what were you saying before? He played the trumpet and...
No, Jimmy played the sax. And Tommy plays the trombone. And I remember that because Tommy starts with a T.
T trombone.
Yeah, there you go.
It didn't take me long.
Oh.
All right, well, here we go with Tommy Dorsey and I'll Never Smile Again on
West Coast Jazz.
I'll never smile again until I smile at you. I'll never laugh again. What good would it do? For tears would fill my eyes, my heart would realize that our romance is through. I'll never love again. I'm so in love with you. I'll never thrill again to somebody new. Within my heart, I know I will never start to smile again until I smile at you. Within my heart, I know I will never start to smile again until I smile at you. Until I smile at you.
Okay. That was Tommy Dorsey. I'll Never Smile Again. You got some information on our next artist?
Yes, Tex Beneke. Tex Beneke. He was actually with the Glenn Miller Band, and then when Glenn disappeared, he took over.
Oh, I did
as
not
the
know
lead.
that.
Yeah, and I really like him, and he wasn't really as well known, I think, as a lot of other jazz musicians, but he's just as good.
Well,
I
back
really
in
like
the
him.
day, he was well renowned, and probably because he had the Glenn Miller Orchestra.
Yeah, exactly. So here we are with Tex
Beneke.
and a wonderful guy on
Okay.
West Coast Jazz.
Yes, we are.
in August. I'm as normal as blueberry pie. No more a smart little girl with no heart. I have found me a wonderful guy. I am in a conventional dither with a conventional star in my eye. And you will note there's a lump in my throat when I speak of that wonderful guy. I'm as tried and as gay as the daisy in May, a cliche coming true. I'm bromidic and bright as a moon, happy night pouring light on the dew. I'm as corny as Kansas in August, high as a flag on the 4th of July. If you'll excuse an expression I use, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with a wonderful guy. No more a smart little girl with no heart. I have found me a wonderful guy. I'm as tried and as gay as a daisy in May, a cliche coming true. I'm bromidic and bright as a moon, happy night pouring light on the dew. I'm as corny as Kansas in August, high as a flag on the 4th of July. If you'll excuse an expression I use, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love with a wonderful guy.
Okay, that was Tex Beneke. I'll help you out there, Cher.
Thank you. Oh, goodness. Well, it wouldn't be me if I didn't make a mistake on a name, right?
No.
So, anyways, next we have Count Basie. And, you know, I was reading a little bit about him, and he actually started out in silent movies playing piano in the theaters for silent movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Well, how did you hear him if it was silent?
Well, the people in the audience heard him playing while they were watching the movie.
Okay.
See, when they were watching the movie, he was playing the piano.
Yeah, I don't go
theater.
back that far.
No, no,
No.
me either. But silent films, I thought that was actually pretty interesting, you know. And also, Count Basie, the Count Basie Orchestra is now on tour. So they have an orchestra named the Count Basie Tour, and they're all over the United States. And you can just go to their website, Count Basie Orchestra, and get all the information.
Count Basie backed a lot of famous singers, Frank Sinatra being one, and some
right.
of the Ella Fitzgerald. He backed her. So, and the one thing that I enjoyed about Count Basie was the first orchestra that would have their horns go up at the end, and I hope that's included in this song. What song is he going to do?
Take the A train. Take the
A train.
Right.
So let's listen for that. And once they started doing that, a lot of bands started mimicking that. So
okay.
let's.
Sure, and he also does our theme song.
Oh,
Start
yeah.
with something big. So, a couple things. All right, and this is Count Basie with Take the A Train on West Coast Jazz.
should take
If you should take
a train,
the
you get to where you're going in a hurry. Hurry, 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 now it's coming. Can't you hear the rails are humming? If you should miss the A train, you'll miss the quickest way to get to Harlem. Okay, that was Duke Ellington and, of course, the A Train.
Yep. And that's a famous song that was done by many, many bands.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. So next we have Count Basie with Shining Stockings.
Okay, and the Count Basie we talked about, and he's got that unique feature with the horns going up.
Yes.
So let's see if that's in Shining Stockings.
Okay, on West Coast Jazz. And before we go into this, I just want to mention, go to our website, jazzwithvaughn.com, and you'll see all our past shows. And if you want to be a guest on our show, or if you want to just, like I said, ask a question, we are more than happy to answer it and hear from you on our website.
Do you know what else, Cher?
What
If
else?
you're a guest on our show, you get a free coffee mug,
Right.
West Coast Jazz, with your name on it.
Definitely.
And you go down to coffee or whatever, you take
Yeah.
that, or you're traveling in your car and you want a cold drink to stay cold,
Yes.
we will offer that up. And we've had many guests so far.
Uh-huh.
So-
Definitely. And if you want to be a sponsor, also the
yeah,
sponsorship.
that'll be on there.
And you can also get a mug with your name on it. So.
Correct.
All right. Well, here we are with Shiny Stockings by Count Basie.
Okay. That was Count Basie.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm showing here to the audience is our editor's favorite LP. It's a combination of Count Basie and Duke Ellington, and they have a song on here called Battle Royale, where they try to outplay each other.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
So this is a great LP. I think I mentioned that in another show, that LPs for you younger people is long play, and vinyls are coming back.
Yeah, definitely.
Coming
oh my
back
God.
in a strong way.
Yes. Definitely.
Turntables are coming back, and it just doesn't get better than this. And some of these LPs are collector's items. I mean, I've seen them, when I first bought them, they were $7, $8, and now I'm finding them for $100, $200, sometimes over $1,000.
For the jazz albums?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I have to look. I go to thrift stores all the time. That's amazing.
Yeah. Chris, what is a name? We got, is it the Wax Museum? There's a couple of stores in town, one that you like in St. Louis Park.
Mill City Sound.
Mill City Sound in Hopkins. So there's several stores, but if you can get your hands on these, and sometimes the record stores don't even know what they have.
Yeah, exactly.
Go in and file through their collection and get yourself a gem. Okay.
Right. Okay, well, next we have Gerald Wilson, and I know he's one of your favorites. And you have an album right here.
Okay, I'll show Gerald Wilson.
Yeah, we got to show Gerald Wilson.
Keep recording, Chris.
Okay.
Okay, let me see if I can do this again.
Yeah, there you go. And we are going to be playing a song called Nancy Joe, but tell us a little bit about Gerald Wilson.
Okay, when I went to college out in California, and the Gerald Wilson Orchestra, who's from the West Coast, would go up and down to the college campuses, and he would come in sometimes with his band, and sometimes come in and teach us. We were in music, but rarely. I mean, you got instrument play, but rarely did you have a renowned arranger, conductor come in and teach you how to not only write music, but to arrange the different instruments into a song. And I just was, what do you want to call it, admired this fellow so much so that I was on the selection committee for our graduation party, and they said, does anybody know of a band that we should bring in for a graduation? And I raised my hand, and I can't believe they didn't go with the Beach Boys or one of those. And I said, Gerald Wilson.
Oh, my goodness.
That backfired on me, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, because everybody there said we can't dance to that music.
Oh, no.
I said, oh, no. So I went up to Gerald and I said, could you play some dance music? But this next song we're going to hear, I don't think you can dance to. Let's give it a listen.
It's called Nancy Joe by Gerald Wilson. that was Nancy Joe by Gerald Wilson. And we, of course, had that great story from Vaughn. And that's what I love about you is you have so many stories about so many jazz guys that you've met and got into be with. And so it's interesting.
Well, when you grow up on the knee of Von Monroe, Count Basie,
I mean, really.
all of these big band greats knew my father
Yeah.
because of the Glenn Miller connection, and they would come over to our house and jam, and then I would be there, probably 4 or 5 years old,
Right.
not knowing anything more than being a snotty-nosed kid.
Yeah, taking it all in, though.
Taking it all in, and as soon as I was old enough, maybe 1.5, 2 years old, to start bouncing up and down, then I was hooked, and I've been a jazz lover, player. I go to all the venues. Oh, that's one thing we should talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we mentioned that in another show, that if you get an opportunity to go see a live venue, and now we have 8 jazz clubs
Right.
in the cities, as well as Mystic Lake. I got to say something about that. I took a group from Shakopee out to Mystic Lake, and we saw one of the last performances of, oh boy, am I going to
Johnny
remember?
Mathis.
Johnny Mathis.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's 90 years
Yeah,
old.
that's amazing. That's really cool. I like that. It's a
And
great
we
story.
all went out there. We were talking in the vehicles on the way out, and they said, well, can he still carry a voice? Perfect. He was
Really?
dead on.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
Yeah, 90 years old. But a
Yeah.
lot of those, they go right up to the end, and they always wanted to go out in style, and I think he did that.
Yeah. Oh, God, you're lucky you got to see him.
Yes,
Yeah.
we were very lucky, and one of our club members said, let's go see him, and I said, why not?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, my God,
So
that's great.
make sure you do that. Everybody, it doesn't matter whether you're 10 years old tugging at your mom's apron strings and say, let's go, or you're 90 years old.
Right.
One of our group members was 90 years old. Doesn't matter how old you are. If you like the music, get out there and see this happening live.
Right, definitely. All right. Well, next we have that's what I love about this show. We have a newer artist, Curtis Stigers. And, he basically only tours in Europe. I mean, I keep looking at his schedule because we want to go see him, but he's never here in the United States, but he was actually born in Hollywood, California.
Well, send him a letter.
Yeah, I mean, really. So, anyways, he is a newer artist here. Well, he's not really new, but he's, getting more and more, popular, I think, with younger audience.
Well, he's also current.
Current, exactly.
So, and that's one of the things that we try to do on our show is we started out, as you remember, with Neil Hefti and Count Basie and those, and the old bands, and we bring them forward to let you know who's bringing the music now.
Yes, because we want to get more people, younger people, interested in jazz also.
Absolutely.
And we have a jazz station here in the cities, KBEM, Jazz 88.
Well, don't you work there?
I do.
Aha.
But I mean, seriously, it's a great station, and so if anyone wants to, they can always go to jazz88.fm and check out the jazz station here in Minneapolis. And now we are going to play "I Wonder Why" by Curtis Stiger.
Okay, let's go find out why.
Exactly, on West Coast Jazz.
Yes, we are.
Love is a hunger that burns in my soul, but you never notice the pain. And love is an anchor that won't let me go. reach out to hold you, but you push me away. And you always convince me to stay. And I wonder why we hold on with tears in our eyes. And I wonder why we have to break down to make things alright. And I wonder why I can't seem to tell you goodbye. Yes, I wonder why. Now I'm no angel with my selfish pride, but I love you more every day. And love is an anger, and it builds up inside as the tears of frustration roll down my face. Why does love always have to turn out this way? And I wonder why we hold on with tears in our eyes. And I wonder why we have to break down to make things alright. And I wonder why I can't seem to tell you goodbye. Yes, I wonder why. I wonder why. I don't want to fight again tonight about the little things. Please, baby. I just want to find my way back to love. Oh, and I'll meet you there, baby. Wonder why we break down to make things alright. And I wonder why I can't seem to tell you goodbye. I wonder why. Oh, baby. And I wonder why we can't seem to just say goodbye. Yes, I wonder why. Oh, baby, I wonder why. Now, don't you wonder why? Love is a hunger.
All right, and that was Curtis Stigers, and we were saying that, you know, hopefully he'll do a tour here in the States. I want to go see him. You turned me on to him, and I really enjoy his music.
Wow, and he's got a great, I believe it's called the Danish Jazz Band.
Okay.
Out of Holland or
Yeah, the Netherlands.
Netherlands,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. And yeah, so that's interesting. And also, before you were saying like he was into rock, and he actually co-wrote the theme song for the TV show Sons of Anarchy.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's kind of a vast, switch for him. But next we have Michael Bublé, who is, brings the young into jazz. He is just, who doesn't know Michael Bublé at this point?
Well, he's one of the coaches on The Voice.
Right.
My wife and I have seen him 3 times now, twice in the U.S. and I believe once in Hawaii. And a little story there, I was working downtown Minneapolis, and I went over across the street to the record store, and I went in and I heard the band, and I went up to one of the clerks and I said, "Who is that?" They had a speaker system overhead, and I said, "Who is that? I've never heard of him." And he said, "Well, that's Michael Bublé." And he's done a lot of, especially around Christmas, he's been on with Kermit the Frog.
Right.
You know,
Yes,
and,
definitely.
the Muppets, and he's done some other. My wife and I look forward to his Christmas show every year. And well, instead of me talking, how about we give him a listen? What song is he going to do?
Feeling Good
Okay.
on West Coast Jazz.
Yes, we are.
Birds flying high, you know I feel. Sun in the sky, you know I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. Well, it's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. A river running free, you know how I feel. Whoa, blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. Well, it's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, well, that's what I mean. And this world, well, it's a new world, and a bold world for me. Shine, you know how I feel, yeah. Scent of the pine, well, you know what I mean. Oh, freedom is mine, oh, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. It's a new day, it's a new life, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling so good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
All right. Well, that was Michael Bublé with "Feeling Good."
Yeah, sorry I got out of hand there, but that band just drives me crazy. I love it.
I like it, and I have a nickname for you, Maestro Bob.
Oh, Maestro.
I love it.
What happened to the Jazz Man?
Well, Jazz Man, Jazz Bob, and Maestro Bob. You got a bunch of names.
Call me anything
Yeah.
but late to listen to jazz.
Exactly.
And if you're wondering what that's like, check some of our past shows where we do have the guest on, and you can get a feel for everybody that's been our guest has just had a wonderful time.
Yeah, definitely. And you get a cup too. So
Yeah, don't forget about
don't
that.
forget the cup. Well, that brings us to the end, and we appreciate you, and we will see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye on West Coast Jazz.
Yes, we are.
So long. Goodbye, my darling. I know I was wrong when I thought that you could return the same love that I have, all for you, dear. But you still didn't care enough to ever try to love me. Why didn't you love me? Why didn't you ever love me? Maybe you'll understand the reasons why you're letting me go when, oh, I love you so. Gave you money, comfort too, loved you only you, dear. But you didn't care a thing about me. All you wanted was to have your fun without me, oh my darling.